Pick Pink this October and help TM Pick and Pay support breast cancer awareness. This time check is brought to you by TM Pick and Pay.
Welcome to the news at 8 and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Justin Matlatla.
And I am Tanaka Muyenyiwa. Noble Maungwa is at the Sign Language Desk and Marilyn Gwenya will be joining us shortly from our Montrose studios. Let's first take a look at the headlines.
Local authorities urged to prioritize service delivery.
This was said by President Emmerson Mnangagwa in Bindura.
Local banks' appetite for modern administration facilities spurs real estate sector growth.
And in sport, Zimbabweans based in South Africa are happy with the Mighty Warriors' performance in the ongoing COSAFA Women's Championship.
Those are the headlines. We now get into our stories in detail, beginning with the first story where President Emmerson Mnangagwa has challenged the urban and rural local authorities to complement government efforts in improving the people's livelihoods by prioritizing the delivery of essential social services.
For some local authorities, attending to the basics like refuse collection, provision of clean water and attending to burst sewer lines has remained a challenge, with residents in urban areas like Harare and other cities now all too familiar with the lack of services. As President Mnangagwa officially commissioned Chilmant Chemicals, a water treatment chemical plant in Bindura this Friday, he spoke on the need for local authorities to prioritize service delivery, for which they collect money from ratepayers.
I challenge local authorities in both rural and urban to complement the national initiatives by prioritizing and budgeting for the delivery of essential social services, including the provision of refuse collection, water and sanitation, among others. Unowana kuti municipality inokolekta marets asi vanhu voshaya mvura mutaundi munoita mapotoro. I applaud the directors and management of Chilmant Chemicals for their business acumen, dedication and commitment to play a part in the modernization and industrialization of our economy. Vakaenda kuChina vakaona zvinoitwa ikoko. Ndokuya ndokuvaka kuno. Vazhinji venyu munofamba kwamunofamba kakawanda muchiona zvamunoona. Kana kuzitakura kunza kuno. Kungota takaona zvakati, takaona kamabona zvatisina unzai tokutsigirai muzvivaki.
The $25 million United States plant will ease the country's burden of importing water treatment chemicals, as it has the capacity to meet the country's needs as it produces 10 tons of aluminium sulfate per hour. President Mnangagwa urged more entities to invest and develop the country's provinces to ensure the agenda of creating vibrant provincial and rural economies is fulfilled.
I invite more companies to take up business opportunities throughout our provinces towards growing provincial economies and realizing development, modernization, and industrialization that leaves no one and no place behind. I applaud Chilmant Chemicals for the proactive approach that has seen the successful procurement and installation of this chemical plant.
The constant calls by President Mnangagwa for the country's young minds to answer the needs of industry through their innovations are paying off, as evidenced by the establishment of Chilmant Chemicals. Josephine Mugio, ZBC News.
Government's quest for food security is guaranteed through thriving production being undertaken in the agro value chain. An example is Vice President General retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga's Chivaraidze farm, where more than 250 hectares are under wheat.
The Zimbabwe Catholic Bishops' Conference this Saturday toured the Vice President General retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga's Chivaraidze farm in Goromonzi as part of an exchange visit in which the Vice President visited the Catholic's 350-hectare wheat project in Driefontein area of Chirumanzi in the Midlands Province late September. The bishops and other government officials toured various sections of the farm, which has more than 600 hectares of arable land under production, expressing satisfaction with the farm's production levels.
We are quite very happy to learn a lot from the VP. We are working together also with the ministry and the VP also at Driefontein, and there we have done 350 hectares, and so they came to visit the farm, and we said we would also want to come and learn what they're also doing.
We are very pleased with the utilization on this farm. It's a sign of hope, and we are also very happy, especially with the modernization. I suspect for a long time it was just the traditional farming, but now there's the modernization.
Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development Minister Dr. Anxious Masuka said production levels at Chivaraidze farm, where more than 250 hectares are under wheat production, speaks volumes of the country's capability in transforming the whole agricultural value chain.
The 295 hectares of wheat here are splendid. As you can see behind me, this is an 8-tonner crop. And this is what we are talking about all the time, that we are capable of producing enough to feed the country. And clearly, the Vice President is showing that this is indeed possible.
The farming community has not been spared from benefiting through different infrastructural development projects being undertaken at the farm, such as the development of a school, clinic and sporting facilities.
Chikoro chava mukati menzvimbo ino chabatsira kunyangwe nevari munharaunda. Tine maneighboring zedu, tine mafarms anenge matatu ari kubenefita kubva pachikoro ichochi. Vana vemufamu munomu tingati vari kudzidziswa mahara, nokuti hapana mari yakawanda yatiri kubhadhara. Tobva tatiwo isu pachipatara chakagadzirwa mukati menzvimbo ino. Chatora nzvimbo ino kubva tingati muGoromonzi West ino chipatara icho chakurakidza kuti ndicho chakuita sechiri kupinda zvese zvakatikomberedzawo.
The farm, which sits on 1,100 hectares with 600 arable land, has 350 hectares under irrigation, 250 hectares under dry land, and more than 20 hectares under horticulture. John Nandara, ZBC News, Goromonzi.
The Tobacco Industry and Marketing Board has unveiled a plan to reach a $5 billion United States industry by 2025 through capacitating smallholder farmers and mobilizing capital.
In an interview with the ZBC News, Tobacco Industry and Marketing Board TIMB chairperson Mr. Pat Davenish revealed that the $5 billion United States industry by 2025 target is achievable as reviewed by Cabinet last Tuesday. He, however, highlighted that there are specific interventions that are needed.
We've been set a target by our leadership, by our president, by our minister, and we are going to do our level best to achieve that. We've got some ideas on how we're going to work at it. It's all about thinking outside the box.
Mr. Davenish also gave an update on the 2023-2024 summer cropping season for the golden leaf.
The early target is 280 million. As you know, the season just finished. We achieved 296. We're a little bit worried about the El Nino. Outside that, preparations for the season are going very well. Seed sales are way ahead of last year. The seed beds are all in. As you know, seed beds are planted on the 1st of June and the irrigated crop goes in 1st of September. That's all happening according to plan.
Tobacco is one of Zimbabwe's strategic export earner and a contributor to annual economic growth rates. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
The curtain has come down on the Sanganai Hlanganani Tourism Expo in Malawi, with exhibitors excited about the potential the expo has availed to boost tourism traffic into the country.
The Premier World Tourism Expo ended in Bulaya this Saturday, with local exhibitors excited about the business opportunities availed by the expo as the country moves forward in the recovery of its tourism sector.
It's been very, very positive. There's been a lot of feedback and a lot of agents that have come through. So let's hope that the tourism industry does get a kick-off.
So it's been very exciting for us. We've met lots of people over the 3 days, so we'll definitely be coming back next year.
We're just hopeful that even in the future, tourism is going to boost in Zimbabwe.
There were very good discussions on development of tourism and aviation in Zimbabwe.
We hope that next year it's going to be bigger again than this.
For international exhibitors, the platform was a chance to feel what the Zimbabwean market has to offer. The 3-day expo was held for availing small to medium enterprises in the tourism sector an opportunity to tap into the global market.
It has been so good. At least we have managed to make some contacts. So honestly, it has been so good.
Yeah, it was exciting, and we share what we have and the frequencies in Bulawayo. Most focus was Bulawayo.
The 3-day expo was held for availing small to medium enterprises in the tourism sector an opportunity to tap into the global market.
When you come here, you are about to meet with anyone who will promote you after this.
Benefited a lot from Isanganai because we were able to meet the top buyers in the tourism sector.
The Minister of Tourism and Hospitality Industry, Honorable Barbara Rodzi, officially opened the expo last night with exhibitors receiving awards. The minister emphasized on the need to reinforce and improve marketing strategies for destination Zimbabwe.
While there's a positive growth in Zimbabwe, we still need to enhance our marketing strategy, which is our responsibility as the government through our own Zimbabwe Tourism Authorities, ZTA, to expand its outreach program in line with the international best practices.
A total of 378 exhibitors participated at the expo, an increase from 275 last year. Yolanda Moyo, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Government has commissioned the Kariba People's Market, built through devolution funds.
The construction of the new market stores has created a smart face for the resort town of Kariba and serves as a local economic development initiative by providing a conducive business environment for small to medium enterprises.
Uyu wakavakwa uri muhombe unokwanisa kuakomodheta vanhu vakawandisa plus wakasununguka zvokuti mhepo iri kupinda.
Tinokwanisa zvinhu zvedu zvakanaka, hatinaiwe nemvura.
Zvakanakira musika uno uri pa open space plus makastoma ari kunyatsofamba.
The government's devolution agenda has enticed the United Nations.
On behalf of the United Nations, I would like to extend our gratitude to all those involved in making this project a reality and commend the government of Zimbabwe for its unwavering commitment to devolution.
The Nyamunga People's Market comes with several benefits for entrepreneurs and council.
With improved facilities and sanitation that is now there, it reduces the incidences of disease and helps improve the hygiene and the outlook of the place.
This state-of-the-art structure is among the best, if not the best, in the whole of Zimbabwe. The project will be a role model to some who want to copy the good practices.
The devolution agenda is proved to be critical in various communities, with councils managing to acquire capital machinery and improve in offering social services and sprucing up infrastructure. Tambao Gagora, ZBC News, Kariba.
Matabeleland South has intensified the fight against drug and substance abuse amid revelations that the school children as young as 10 are now abusing drugs.
In an African society, it is believed that a boy child is born to take over the reins when his father departs, and it is from this belief that parents invest much in their sons to equip them with life skills. What is then expected from this son is traits that resemble someone who can lead a family. But what a family in Vumba Chikwe mine compound in Gwanda is looking at is not only a son who might fail to take over from his father, but who is bent on destroying everything the family holds dearest. He has joined an unfortunate crop of youths who are into drugs and has turned violent, beating the very parents that made him.
Pane almost about 3 months dzandakatanga kuona kuti munhu zvaakuita zvisiri normal as a human being. Anorara zviya zvekuti anogona kurara kana kuti 2 days. Dai Zimbabwe yaonawo zvekuita nevanhu ivavo vanosupply zvinhu izvozvo, because the main supplier ndiyo iri kutikanganisira wana wedu.
Ari violent zvisingatomboiti. Kuti kana dai ukataka kumuudza chinhu kuti chakati haatomboteereri bakunyatsoona kuti mwana uyu haasiri iye munhu wakareza. Chero dai ukamuda kumumutsa chaiko kumuti iwe muka iwe ungatomutakura ukasvika naye kure chaiko asingatombozivi kuti akatakurwa akastika mwana.
Matabeleland South has set up a committee to deal with the menace and protect the bonds of family.
The fight against drug and substance abuse calls for all of us to collectively and effectively put our together against this menace.
With the country still dusting itself from the horrors of COVID-19, there is general consensus that drug and substance abuse scourge needs to be dealt with decisively.
Just like COVID, drug and substance abuse has affected our nation, and in particular the mental health of our most productive age group. The National Committee is determined to achieve the mandate given to it by His Excellency the President and Cabinet, and will leave no stone unturned in its vicious fight against drug and substance abuse.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa established the Interministerial Committee in April 2022 to deal with the drug and substance abuse scourge. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News, Gwanda.
Well, it's sad hearing such narratives from parents whose children seemingly spend days asleep as they are stuck or high on drugs. However, the law agencies are not sleeping on duty, as over 8,000 suspects have been arrested for illicit drug-related crimes in Harare Metropolitan Province since the beginning of the year. Some of the suspects have since been convicted and jailed.
Statistics compiled by the Harare Provincial Drug and Substance Abuse Committee revealed that 8,604 suspects who committed drug-related crimes have been arrested since January this year to date, with the most popular drug abused being Dacha Mbanje. Chairperson of the committee and Minister of Harare Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Charles Tavengwa, said the arrests are not enough, as there is need for stiffer penalties for those convicted of drug-related crimes.
We are also on the ground to see that we do our level best to fight it, to be part of it, and if possible, to eradicate if that is possible. But there are issues which we have to address, need for stiffer penalties, because you can't be, say for instance, finding somebody who is caught with cocaine, methane or whatever, $5. Does that make sense? It means out of the court I'm back on the street, because on the street I'll make maybe 10, 20 times more than that. So that is my source of living. So I'll go back to that. So we have to have deterrent penalties.
Interministerial Task Force Against Drug and Substance Abuse Representative, Deputy Minister of Sports, Recreation, Arts and Culture, Honorable Emily Josiah, reaffirmed government's commitment to tackle the drug scourge.
The National Committee is determined to achieve the mandate given to it by His Excellency, the President and Cabinet, and will leave no stone unturned in its vicious fight against drug and substance abuse.
Recently, government announced that all idle provincial COVID-19 isolation facilities in the country will be converted into multi-sectoral drug rehabilitation centers in an effort to assist drug addicts to recover. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
Empowerment of rural women has been cited as key in fueling socio-economic development in rural communities across the country. This came out during the launch of the International Day of the Rural Women at Muteo Value Addition Cooperative Center in Chirezi District this Saturday.
The launch of the International Day of Rural Women saw rural women in Muteo area reflecting on programs and opportunities rolled out by government and its development partners, which they are utilizing to empower themselves.
Nikesa ehulumende nebe lead agents ke kuyifuna lokuba ngamaha kema project ayina le yendlako
lathi singakho kwinzara yenyaramba yakati affecta kwatiri kule asipata kazoita zvepfumvudza takukohwa
zvinhu zviri kutifambira bhozi muriwo tiri kutengesa beans tinokohwa tichidya nevana.
The critical role and contribution of rural women in enhancing agricultural and rural development across the country was also brought to the fore during the launch of the International Day for Rural Women.
President wedu Baba Mnangagwa vanogara vakazvibhuya kuti vana mai mwakakosha, kuti vana mai ndimwi mwakatsameya kuti ikonomi yedu ienderere mberi.
Minister of Women Affairs, Community, Small and Medium Enterprises Development, Senator Monica Mchangwa, unpacked several initiatives that government has rolled out to empower women.
Today is a day which we are putting a spotlight. Let's look at what they do. Let's say thank you to the rural women. You are important in the development of this country. Community, the Women Development Fund, and also the Zimbabwe Community Development Fund, both of which are loan schemes that provide cheap loans to groups of women.
The national launch of the International Day of Rural Women ran under the theme Rural Women Cultivating Good Food for All. Gaima Tambo, ZBC News, Chirezi.
You can get more news by visiting our website at www.zbcnews.co.zw. You can also follow us on our X handle at ZBC News Online, as well as on our WhatsApp channel, that's at ZBC News Online.
You can also connect with us on our Facebook page, ZBC News Online. Remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, ZBC News Online. Here are stories still to expect. A local bank's appetite for modern administration facilities spurs real estate sector growth.
In sport, Zimbabweans based in South Africa happy with the Mighty Warriors' performance in the ongoing COSAFA Women's Championship. Stay with us for these stories and more after the break.
You have helped build Tel One, a better Tel One and the world around us. A better world where we can live together, learn together, play together, work together, grow together. Our journey together continues today. Now we must focus on making our future even better. A better future for our children. Join us and let us do this together. Tell one, the future is better together.
ZBC Current Affairs. Leading the conversation on local, regional and international news. We bring you the stories that shape the nation and the world. Be it social trends, economic and political developments, State of the Nation addresses, independence celebrations, Heroes and Defense Forces Day commemorations, and other national events. We bring them to you as they happen. With an array of informative programming, we bring you face-to-face with the decision makers as we unpack complex issues, giving you a platform to be part of the conversation. You can choose to face the nation and combat crime while talking farming. But remember to keep your vision 2030 with ZBC Current Affairs. Together, Sonke, Tese, we will track and implement NDS1 to realize a better Zimbabwe.
Welcome back. You're still watching the news at 8, and thank you for staying with us. Government has activated the civil protection units across the country as a precautionary measure in case of climate change-induced natural disasters.
Zimbabwe joined the rest of the world in commemorating the International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction in Kwekwe this Friday, with the country taking stock of the state of preparedness in dealing with natural disasters ahead of the rainy season. Local authorities say they are up to the task in handling any problems that might be posed by unfriendly weather phenomenon.
As we expect El Nino this year, we want to assure you that as local authorities we are much prepared because we want to protect lives, we want to protect our infrastructure, and at the same time, as we move forward as local authorities, we are trying to bring in new technologies in the fight of disasters.
Government has also put in place measures to ensure marginalized communities get the necessary assistance in times of disaster.
It is critical to note that there is strong relationship between disasters and inequality, and indeed worrisome to note that most vulnerable members in our communities are affected by these disasters. Inequality manifests in different forms that include poverty, hunger, homeless, drug abuse, gender inequality, among other manifestations, with a view to reduce people's exposure and vulnerability. As you may be aware, these special interest groups bear the brunt of all forms of hazards and emergencies.
The world has of late witnessed an upsurge of natural disasters like floods and earthquakes as effects of climate change are taking a huge toll on the globe. Tafaraj Kumira, ZBC News, Kwekwe.
And now for the next couple of stories, we cross over to our Montrose studios in Bulawayo, where we are joined by Marilyn Gwenya.
Good evening, and it's always a pleasure to you, Justin and Tanaka. Now in our following report, government in partnership with the mining company in Shurugwi has pulled funds and building materials to repair the roof of a classroom block at Musasa Secondary School that was swept away by wind last Sunday.
The relationship between government and private players continues to gain traction by each passing day, as witnessed by the donation of funds and building materials to repair a classroom block which was blown off by wind at Musasa Secondary School in Shurugwi. Parents and learners who attended the handover ceremony commended the kind gesture.
Chiitiko ichi chakaitika chokutorwa denga rechikoro chakatibata zvisingaiti. Tikatobatikana zvokunyanyisa kuti ko zvaranga riri bloko hwane ranga ramira. Ko Satani wafambire zvakamira zvikadai.
MP vakasiya vatipromisa kuti musi wanhasi ndipo vachadzoka pano vachizotipa mhinduro. Saka nhasi ndafara zvisingaiti.
Shurugwi District Schools Inspector Mr. Isaac Chikafu and Shurugwi North Legislator Honorable Joseph Mpasi concurred that the development is an indication that the nation is heading towards attaining Vision 2030.
We are really very grateful to the Honorable MP for Shurugwi South North, who has brought this donation it will go a long way in improving our teaching and learning.
Kumutsiridza kunobatsira zvikuru padzidzo pakuti vana vazhinji kana vakadzidza vari pabani zvinoreva kuti vanolosa concentration, asi vana vakadzidza vakafukidzirwa zuva, vakafukidzirwa mvura denga mazuva emvura vanodzidza zvakanaka, saka tinoti education yavo inobva yawedzereka.
The National Development Strategy 1 NDS1 blueprint pays particular attention to broadening access and participation to education by marginalized populations in both rural and urban areas, with the private sector expected to play a vital role. Karajushe, ZBC News, Shirogwe.
The Midlands Province is stepping up wheat harvesting to ensure the process is completed before the onset of the rainy season. Our Midlands Province Bureau Chief Tafarach Kumira was in Kwekwe and filed the following report.
Mr. Charles Mpof is one of the farmers in Kwekwe's Sherwood block who has started harvesting his winter wheat crop after getting a combine harvester. The farmer, who has put 90 hectares under wheat, is anticipating an average of 7 tons per hectare after implementing best agronomic practices.
I want us to this year at a time we have proper fertilizer that I recommended. We have bulk storage of grain. So Patroko Pose, we are forced to pay maybe $8,000 per truck, $800 per truck.
Government says the Midlands Province is in a position to harvest all the winter wheat crop across the province before the onset of the rainy season.
We have a number of combine harvesters in the province, but of course the demand is a bit on the high side. AFC has 4 combines, 3 already in Kwekwe, another one in Gweru district, but we have wanted more combines, maybe 2 more, so that we can meet the pressure, because most of our wheat is almost ready. We can talk of approximately 5,000 hectares that are already ready for harvesting as of today.
With the coming in of the Second Republic under our visionary leader, we have all witnessed aggressive financial and mechanization interventions that has resulted in high wheat productivity, leading to the surplus. Indeed, we will march forward and produce more through schemes like CBZ, AFC Agro-Yield, government farm mechanization facilities, Belarus farm mechanization programs.
Midlands Province has surpassed its winter wheat target, with the province anticipating an average of 7 tons per hectare against the country's average of 5 tons a hectare. Tafarach Kumira, ZBC News, Kwekwe.
A 25-year-old man who lured his churchmate to his house under the pretext of Bible study before allegedly sexually abusing her has appeared in court facing charges of rape.
Blind trust in a brother in Christ proved to be costly for a 22-year-old woman who was allegedly raped after being invited for Bible study. Blessing Nyakwava appeared in court on allegations of raping his churchmate once. It is alleged that he invited the woman over to his house for Bible study, but ended taking advantage of the unassuming woman. The court heard that the abused woman reported the matter to the police, leading to the arrest of the accused person. Meanwhile, a 16-year-old girl was allegedly raped by her 26-year-old boyfriend after visiting him at his house. It is alleged that Kudakwashe Kwenje raped the teenager several times on different days. The court heard that the accused would invite the girl to his house where he would rape him. Kwenje was facing 6 counts of rape and 1 count of attempted rape when he appeared in court. He was, however, remanded out of custody. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
And now Justin is on standby with more news. Justin, it's back to you.
Many thanks, Marilyn and the team at Montrose, and welcome back to our Pogas Hill studios. ZANU-PF Mashonaland East Province says it is ready for the National People's Conference to be held in Gweru later this month.
Fresh from winning majority seats in the just ended general elections, ZANU-PF Mashonaland East
is now in full gear as it prepares for the National People's Conference in Gweru later this month. The party held a PCC in Marondera to finalize preparations for the conference, where over 3,000 delegates from the province are expected to attend.
Mobilization panyaya dzezvekumaresources tine matargets atakapuwa seprovince ekuti tinofanira kunge tichiresa mari dzatakanzi tirese. Contributions achabva kumamembers, mapolitburo members edu central committee kusvika tasvika vanhu vari kuprovince. Ndo zvimwe zvatachikurukura nekukurudzirawo mawellwishers atagara tichishanda nawo seprovince kuti vatibatsire.
National Political Commissar Comrade Mike Bima, who also attended the PCC, said all is well in as far as preparations to host the event are concerned.
Tine urongwa hwasvika atingati pachirungu at an advanced stage. Tine masubcommittee akasiyana-siyana anoronga zvakasiyana-siyana zvokushambadza, zvekufambiswa kwevanhu, zvechikafu nezvimwe zvakadaro. Tinosangana mvuro wega-wega. Musangano wekupedzisira takaita takada kunoitira pavenue kuGweru tichida kuona kuti zvirongwa zvakamira sei.
Comrade Bima also spoke on the party's recent victory in a by-election in Yazura and its preparedness for the Gutu West by-election.
Chekutanga ndinoda kungokorokotedza vanhu vekuManicaland nokuhwina kwatakaita. Chakaitisa kuti kuitwe by-election chekuti vaikwikwidzana vaita mangange CC neZANU-PF. Asi takuinda una by-election takavarakasha. Zvinotaura kuti aiwa musangano wedu uri kuramba uchibudirira.
Mashonaland East won 19 out of 23 constituencies in the August general elections. Gerald Sasa, ZBC News, Marondera.
Girls have made a call for strengthening of measures that enhance their protection in society as Zimbabwe commemorated the International Day of the Girl Child this week.
As Zimbabwe marked the International Day of the Girl Child on Wednesday, girls who converged at Major Brown Farm in Mazowe called for stakeholders to step up efforts to protect the girl child's rights, particularly in education.
Tinoziva tinosangana nematambudziko akasiyana-siyana mudunhu matinogara, asi tanga tichingokumbirisawo kuti vanhu vemhuri yeZimbabwe nevanokwanisa kubatsira vabatsire vana vechikoro vaende kuzvikoro. Vana vadiki ava inini semusikana like ndogona kutosimudzirawo like the whole family yekwedu, ndogosimudzirawo community yekwedu and then mukadeprive that girl of that opportunity yoti aendewo chikoro hazokwanisi kudevelop anogara pamba.
We are hoping that the government will hear our pleas. That's because we want all girls from all the walks of life to have a chance to get basic education.
The country has recorded several successes to date in ensuring the well-being of the girl child.
We've come together as different organizations speaking on the importance of investing in the rights of the girl child. The rights that we particularly focused on today are the education rights.
NGOs are cooperating in different sectors of the country.
Mashonaland Central Provincial Education Deputy Director Mr. Fidelis Taganda says government has made great strides to ensure girls complete their academic education even after encountering pregnancy.
Education Amendment Act of 2019. Those amendment yacho ndopa yakananga ipapo kuti mwanasikana anenge akundikana kuenderera mberi nenyaya yekuti aita pamuviri haavharirwi kunze kwechikoro, anodzoka kuchikoro uye anogona kudzoka achine mimba ozotora maternity leave yake yekundozvara for 2 weeks odzoka kana ari mutano odzoka maclassroom edu.
Running under the theme Invest in Girls' Rights, Our Leadership and Well-Being, International Day of the Girl Child that falls on the 11th of October annually comes at a time stakeholders are fighting to mitigate child sexual exploitation, particularly in Mashonaland Central, which has the highest statistical rate in the country. Tapiwa Machemedze, ZBC News, Mazowe.
And now to regional and international news, where thousands of Palestinians sought refuge this Saturday after Israel warned them to evacuate the northern Gaza Strip ahead of an expected ground offensive against Hamas.
Alarm has grown over the fate of Palestinian civilians in blockaded and besieged Gaza, home to 2.4 million people if it becomes the scene of intense urban combat and house-to-house fighting. Israel, which has vowed to destroy Hamas, has massed ground forces and tanks around Gaza, dropped leaflets in the north of the enclave, telling civilians to flee, and staged localized raids to cleanse the area of terrorists and weaponry, the army has said. Israel has pounded Gaza targets with thousands of strikes in the past week, leaving at least 2,215 Gazans dead, including 724 children by Saturday, according to the Ministry of Health in the Palestinian enclave. Israel has been reeling from the bloodiest ever attack on the country and mourned the 1,300 victims it recovered in southern towns, which soldiers have cleared in battles that left 1,500 Hamas militants dead. Tensions have risen with angry protests in support of the Palestinians held Friday in Bahrain, Iran, Iraq, Jordan, Lebanon, and many other countries.
That's a look at international news. Business news comes right after this break.
They want buttercup?
They want buttercup. We want buttercup cause it's healthy. We want buttercup at our school. We want buttercup on our table. We want buttercup, that's the rule. When it really matters, buttercup margarine.
Buttercup margarine, extra goodness for you and your family.
Welcome back. We now take a look at business news. The modernization of Zimbabwe's banking industry is on track as the institutions roll out funds towards the construction of the new main administration centers.
A groundbreaking ceremony to mark the construction of a First Capital Bank new head office created a platform on increased investments by the financial sector towards modernizing infrastructure facilities. Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe RBZ Acting Governor Dr. Jessamine Chipika confirmed increased appetite for modern administration facilities by the banks.
In terms of modernizing the economy, the banks are critical because they are the intermediaries. They are the ones who link our financial resources to the development path of the country. And we have always insisted that a bank is not there just to be a bank for themselves to make profit. They are there to support development in the jurisdiction where they operate.
First Capital Bank Chief Executive Officer Mr. Tapera Mushoriwa reviewed a commitment by the regional banking institution to continue operating in Zimbabwe.
When we look at the national priorities within NDS1, we are bringing economic development. We are bringing infrastructural development. We are bringing a response to environmental issues.
The uptake of real estate administration projects by banks is being made when government projects have also accelerated the rebound of Zimbabwe's construction industry. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
The role of SMEs in the development of African economies came under the spotlight during an African Business Seminar Gala, which was held in Harare Friday night.
Different African attires and dance moves were showcased during the gala dinner, which was attended by representatives from more than 10 African countries. The event, which afforded delegates an opportunity to network and exchange ideas in business and arts, also saw some women in the SME sector being awarded for being game changers in their respective countries.
I didn't expect this award, considering my awards are kupuwa and who are making a difference the whole of Africa, not just Zimbabwe only. So I feel very honored.
We learned about how we can grow our businesses and also interacting between Africa.
And I'm happy that we have held such an event because for small business entrepreneurs, they can see the future, they exchanged phone numbers, they networked with other countries.
I wasn't expecting this. It makes me feel so emotional. I'm happy, I'm excited.
Guest of honor Dr. Josiah Kusena underscored the importance of SMEs in economic development across the continent.
The survival aspect of the human being, mostly in the African continent, there have been small-scale businesses that have given impetus to livelihoods across our people.
Also in attendance were musicians Dino Mdondo and Willem Tite, who were ecstatic about networking with artists from other African countries.
And we really appreciate the motive the business and we want to say a big shout out to the Empress Dlamini who invite us some artists.
Kusanganiswa nevamwe muAfrica nyika dzakasiyana siyana isu tichimirira yedu Zimbabwe kuburikidza nemumhanzi.
Ms. Kelelo Dlamini, who organized the event, noted that the seminar was meant to create business networks in Africa and beyond.
What we are doing now, we are uplifting each other as Africans. What we want is to take those in the bottom line of the list or the bottom line of the ladder. We want to raise everybody up.
The event also saw various artists from different countries showcasing their artistry. Colette Msanyera, ZBC News, Harare.
That's it for business. Now in the arts, Macheso siblings Tatenda and Esau rode the roost this week on the Radio Zimbabwe Chat Show.
Daima Gonesa by Macheso Boys moved 4 places upwards from last week's number 5 to top spot this week. Tindongwazi retained second position this week with Musati Pidzerangu. On third position was GPS by Insimbi Zejwani. It was not a very good week for Enzo Aishal's teaser, which moved 5 places downwards from last week's number 1 to 6th position this week. Hard to Talk by Kanindo songstress Chantel Sitolde featuring DT Bayo Mudimba moved 6 places upwards from last week's number 15 to 9th position this week. Colette Msanyera, ZBC News.
And that's the arts. Stay tuned for sport after the break.
It's the Premier League, all on DSTV. All the goals, clashes, and moments. All of Rashford, Salah, and Saka.
This start is getting better and better and better.
All in HD.
It just makes no sense.
Available on all these bouquets to choose from. To watch on all these devices. Stay connected for all the action. It's the Premier League, all on DSTV.
Welcome back. Time now for sport. The Zimbabwean community in South Africa has applauded the mighty Warriors for putting up a stellar performance at the COSAFA Women's Championship that ends this Sunday.
Zimbabwe will fight for the bronze medal in their final match this Sunday against Mozambique at the Lucas Moriba Stadium in Pretoria. The Mighty Warriors came into the tournament at the back of an 18-month suspension but never showed any signs of rust as they went all the way to the semi-finals. South African-based Zimbabwean corporate Zororo Pumlani, which has been mobilizing for the team through inviting former players who include legendary former Warriors captain Peter Ndlovu to come and motivate the girls, are happy with the progress of the team.
Sport is something that brings people together. So having a victory like this, I think for Zimbabweans based here in South Africa, it's quite a good thing, and it actually lifts people's spirit as well. And I think as Zororo Pumlani as well, we take pride in supporting the girl child through sport. I think we've worked with the Gems when they came for the Netball World Cup. We've also worked with Kudakwashe Chivandire, the boxer, when she also came through. So also coming here and supporting the Mighty Warriors and seeing them win is something that also gives us pride as a company.
It brings us joy and pride as Zimbabweans in South Africa. We are very excited with their performance. So definitely we are going to do something to the team just to show them that there is a company in South Africa that is following them and appreciating their achievements.
The funeral services company is also working with the Zimbabwean embassy in South Africa to organize a send-off function for the Mighty Warriors. The fans who have been coming to cheer at the stadium are satisfied with the Mighty Warriors' performance.
I would like to say congratulations to our Mighty Warriors for qualifying to the semi-finals. They played a very good game and we wish them all the best.
Zimbabwe will take on Mozambique in the third place playoff at midday on Sunday, while 3:30 p.m. defending champions Zambia and free-scoring Malawi clash for the coveted regional title. Lawrence Trusida, ZBC News, Pretoria.
The Zimbabwe senior men's football team, the Warriors, have regrouped for a training camp in preparation for the 2026 World Cup qualifiers, which kick off next month.
The Warriors are trooped in camp this Thursday, setting in motion preparations for the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. The Warriors, who were hoping to play Botswana in a friendly match this weekend before it was called off, are excited to be back in international football.
I just want to thank, the coach for calling me back to the national team. I'm happy to be here because, as you know, it's been long for me not to be around the national team. I still have a lot of business to finish with the national team.
One of the new faces in the Warriors squad is a young defender, Manashe Ganananga.
I'm grateful to get this national team call up because it's my first time and it's something I've been looking forward from a young age, and I'm just excited to play with these players because I used to watch most of them when I was young.
Zimbabwe are in Group C of the World Cup qualifiers alongside Rwanda, Nigeria, Benin and South Africa. They get their campaign underway with an away tie against Rwanda on the 13th of next month.
After an 18-month FIFA ban, the Warriors are back in international business. Anna Shemrombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, we are all excited for the Warriors who are back on the international scene, and I guess it's not too early to start saying, "Go Warriors, go." And now to the local football scene, where Herentals moved into 6th position on the Kasalaga Premier Soccer League table after thumping Yada 4-0 at the National Sports Stadium this Saturday.
Seemingly foretelling the events at Baobab Stadium, Herentals acted like they were on steroids as they put on 4 goals past Yada to claim a place up the Kasolaga Premier Soccer League log standings. Herentals were in bullish mood, outmatching fellow Harare outfit Yada at the National Sports Stadium this Saturday, taking advantage of Chicken Inn's 1-0 loss in the hands of log leaders Ngezi Platinum Stars. It was an unfortunate day for Chicken Inn, who washed Herentals, deposing them off 6th spot as the students moved to 42 points, 12 points of Ngezi, who moved to 54 points following their victory. Ngezi also capitalized on FC Platinum's defeat in the hands of ZPC Kariba to increase the gap between them and second-placed FC Platinum to 8 points after 27 games. With 9 goals scored on Saturday, Simba Bora joined the winning party, claiming a crucial away victory over Bulawayo Chiefs at Luveve Stadium, while Black Rhinos and Green Fuel drew blanks in a new stalemate. Matchday 27 action continues tomorrow, with Highlanders seeking to crawl back into second place when they face a wounded Cranbourne Bullets at Barberfield Stadium. Caps United will finally remember how to win last weekend, faced Shisham at the National Sports Stadium, while Triangle and Wange lock horns at Gibo Stadium. Reynold Ngwarati, ZBC News.
The inaugural inter-provincial netball tournament kicked off at the University of Zimbabwe this Saturday.
Male and female teams from across Zimbabwe had a chance to showcase their major and provincial colors at the 2023 Interprovincial Handball Tournament at the University of Zimbabwe grounds. Provinces like Manicaland, Mashonaland West and Central were all represented at the inaugural provincial tournament organized by the Zimbabwe Handball Federation. Handball players who graced the Interprovincial Tournament were grateful for the opportunity to develop their skills as well as have their talent identified.
For the time we're getting from the coaches, it does develop us very much. You get enough game time, everybody gets a chance to play, you show your skills with the time given by the coach. So for me, it's great.
I'm very grateful that I was chosen to represent Marsh West as an individual, and I'm very grateful as a team that we are playing this tournament.
For me as an individual, it's developing me and it's developing our team skills, communication, and the ability to play handball as a player.
Meanwhile, attention now shifts to the semi-finals, which will be played tomorrow as Harare Province meets Midlands in the semi-final, with Mashonaland Central facing Manicaland in the men's category. On the ladies section, Manicaland will play Harare in the first semi-final tomorrow, whilst a Mashonaland derby between Mashonaland West and Mashonaland Central will determine who plays in the ladies' final tomorrow. Reynold Ngwarati, ZBC News, Harare.
And that report concluding our look at sport. Up next, the weather report and forecast.
Thank you for joining us. It is time for your evening weather report and forecast. We had some isolated showers over Matabeleland area where Kezi received 12 millimeters and Lawe Metropolitan about 9 millimeters as at 8 o'clock this morning. In the satellite images received this afternoon, they show the cloud that covered Zimbabwe, particularly the central parts. It was coupled with the southeasterlies, and we had convergence over the southeastern parts of the country. Tomorrow we expect areas to the south and the east to be cloudy. There's a chance of an isolated shower here and there, particularly Matabeleland South, southern parts of the Midlands, Masvingo, as well as southern parts of Manicaland, while areas to the north that include northern parts of Matabeleland North, Mashonaland West, Mashonaland Central should be mostly sunny, mild at first, becoming hot by afternoon. For the temperatures in detail, the capital city, Harare, expect a minimum of 18, maximum of 35. Kobulawayo 19 and 37, maximum Gweru 17 and 36. Mutare 18 and 36, Kwekwe 16 and 38, Kadoma 17 and 37 degrees Celsius. Masvingo expect a maximum of 38, starting off 19 in the morning. Chinoy should have a maximum of 39, starting off 18. Escocha at Lupane 40, maximum, starting off 19. Bindura 19 at first, 39 maximum. Marondere 17 and 31. Gwanda 18 and 39 degrees Celsius. Victoria Falls 39 maximum, starting off 17. Kariba 25 at first, 42. That's a scorcher at Kariba, 42 degrees Celsius. Make sure you are hydrated at Kariba. 16 and 38 Great Zimbabwe Nyanga, 13 and 29 Matopos, 14 and 31 Chimani 15 and 30. Day after tomorrow, that is Monday, we expect the eastern half of Zimbabwe, particularly Manicaland, some parts of Mashonaland East, as well as some parts of Masvingo, to have some scattered showers here and there, while the remainder of the country, that's your Matabeleland North, Mashonaland West, should be mostly sunny, cloud here and there, but it should be mild at first, becoming hot by afternoon. While Zimbabwe, that does it in tonight's edition of the weather report in August. My name is Benjamin Kwaramba. Let's make a date again tomorrow. It is back to the main desk.
Well, thank you so much, Benjamin, for the weather report and forecast. And now to end this bulletin, we take a look at the main stories once again. Local authorities have been urged to prioritize service delivery.
This was said by President Emmerson Mnangagwa in Bindura.
And in business, local banks' appetite for modern administration facilities spurs real estate sector growth.
And in sport, Zimbabweans based in South Africa are happy with the Mighty Warriors' performance in the ongoing COSAFA Women's Championships.
And that's it for tonight. Thank you for having been part of this broadcast of the news at 8. Have a good night.
We are the Wallata family. I'm Kim. I'm a filmmaker with a passion for hyenas.
I'm Kiki and I want to be a wildlife vet.
I'm Saskia and I've gone from city girl to safari mama.
This is where we live.